Hi, my name is Walt. It's time to discover Saipan. I had a chance to give a tour of Saipan and Tinian to Neal and Maxime from the Netherlands. And since Neal is a history teacher, I got a quick lesson in some of that country's history as it relates to this side of the world. This area that was controlled by Japan actually includes some areas that they took from the Netherlands.
Yes.
And show me again which areas.
Yeah, the big islands, Sumatra, Java, Borneo. This part of here was mostly the oil, Balikpapan, and the Japanese really wanted that. And Celebes, the Moluccs, and parts of now New Guinea
were owned by the Netherlands and then taken by Japan.
Yes.
When the Japanese Empire fell, what happened to these islands?
That's a mostly interesting story, because during the occupation, the Dutch people that lived there were interned in concentration camps, where they were beaten and
tortured,
deprived of food and all hard conditions. Some were shipped to Burma to build on the Burma line. And the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki saved some of them. Because if the war was a few more months later, they were all starved or dead. They were just like walking skeletons. You see the pictures from the concentration camps. And after the war, the nationalist Sukarno declared the Dutch East independence, because it was not real Dutch, it was a colony and the people there wanted their independence, right? And they saw when the Japanese very swiftly took out the Dutch army here, and the other, the French, the British, Singapore fell, nobody thought that. They thought, the Westerners aren't as strong as we think. And so they said, all right, we want, and years ago they have formed the nationalist parties. They declared independence. And after the war, the Dutch sent troops to wage a colonial war.
To reclaim them?
Yes, because they thought, there's a saying, Indië verloren, rampspoed geboren, which is a Dutch saying like, if we lose the Dutch East, our economy is going to ruin. And interesting is, our country was a disaster in ruins, because we had 5 years of German occupation, battles, things destroyed, economy ruined, and we sent a big army to reclaim the territories. And it was initially worked it, but the Americans were like, no, get out of there, we're not going to fund your colonial expedition, because at that moment the Americans were really like colonies, self-determination, and they threatened the Netherlands to cut the Marshall Plan that was funding our recovery plan to build our nation after the Second World War. And in 1949 they became independent. And lots of people escaped to the Netherlands, because, and mostly people from here, the Moluccs, because the Indonesians saw them as traitors, because they are served in the Dutch army, they served, they were like traitors. And an old teacher, he is 82 now, he was born here, and after the war, the Japanese surrendered in 1945. The Japanese guards became the guards of the people, because young nationalists, Indonesian nationalists, tried to wipe out every Belanda, white people they saw, because we need freedom, merdeka, freedom for the people. And he went back to school, and he saw the heads of his friends on spikes next to the school. And a few months he was out of there, but it was, the people that survived, like, yes, end of the Japanese occupation, and now became a civil colonial war,
Mm.
where the Japanese guards who beat them and mistreated them became the protectors for the Indonesian nationalists. So it's a grim story, and only a few years the Dutch government said it's a colonial war, and they committed crimes against humanity. The Dutch army, the nationalist army from the Indonesians as well. But yeah, it was like a very bitter war, like the French in Vietnam.
Thanks for that, sir.
So,
I've had the pleasure of giving a tour of Saipan and Tinian to Neal and Maxime for the last 2 days. And if you haven't guessed by now, Neal is a history teacher. So that's how we get for asking a single question to a history teacher. But thanks for that, sir. Very, very good. Really appreciate that. I can add that to my tours now of these islands.
Subscribe.
You know what the man said.